Most players are best buddying the wrong Pokemon. That little ribbon gives you a +1 level, and that can mean you can win CMP ties, hit breakpoints, and unlock entire leagues for new Pokemon. But on other Pokemon, best buddying almost means nothing, and it can make Pokemon even worse. Today I will show you which Pokemon truly need best buddies, which one are a waste of time, and kind of the Pokemon that you want a best buddy for the Great Ultra League as well as for the Master League. So before you spend walking the wrong buddy for weeks, watch this video first. And today is going to be a video that was requested a lot of times under the last video, but also previously already. So yeah, today is going to be a video that a lot of people wanted to see. So today we're going to take a look at the best Pokemon to best buddy, everything that you need to know about this mechanic. And of course, you enjoyed the last video where I talked about the IV mechanic and everything that you need to know towards as well. So if you're interested in this video here as well, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to this channel and let me know down below which guide should I do next, as we can now start into this video. So what are best buddies? This is kind of the most important thing first, of course. What are best buddies? Best buddies are Pokemon that you need to interact with for minimum 14 days with Puffin, and you have like all these little tasks that you can do. It bumps the level up by 1. Like a lot of times you need more than 14 days, by the way. But also it's going to give you the maximum level of 51 for Pokemon. It only makes sense to really best buddy a level 50 Pokemon. Anything else doesn't really make too much sense. Here on the side, you see graphics from Galax, by the way, on how to best buddy a Pokemon the fastest way, how the entire system works. I'm not going to go directly over that. You can also look up Galax on the social media platform here, for example. And this gives you at least a little bit of an idea on how you're going to be able to get your buddy excited, which is going to allow you to then climb faster those buddy rankings, which you kind of want to have. And as you can see here, you need to do it around for 14 days in order to get the best buddy ribbon on this Pokemon if you do everything that's in this little guide here. But this is not what we're going to talk about today. We're not going to talk about on how to get best buddy Pokemon. We're going to talk about on why you want to maybe get best buddy Pokemon, which Pokemon you want to best buddy, and let's start on with this here. So, where does best buddy make sense? We're going to see 3 Pokemon on the screen. They all make sense to best buddy. Pachirisu for the Great League, the Ludicolo for the Ultra League, and the Palkia for the Master League. And we have more individual things towards them as well later. But basically, where does it make sense? For Pokemon that don't hit the CP cap. For example, Pachirisu is only at like 1,300 something CP, and you're going to be able to just get an extra level in and a little bit more CP, a little bit better stats, which is really nice. Then we're going to have here Ludicolo, which is going to be a Pokemon that actually does reach without best buddying the 2,500 for the Ultra League, but it needs to have a little bit of a higher attack stat. Where here you can kind of drop the attack stat a little bit if you best buddy it instead and put it to level 51, which actually has for this Pokemon quite a lot of solid better matchups. And then we have the Palkia, where you kind of need to have it because, like, you can have it basically because it's already level 50 for the Master League anyway. But basically, what is important here as well is that you need to know that it does have basically 0 impact outside of PvP. Rates, whatever, you don't really need it. You don't need rates, you don't really need it for gym defending, unless you like to see the little ribbon on your Pokemon. It has basically 0 impact outside of PvP. It's a feature that actually is mainly geared towards PvP, because it can have quite some impact here. It's made, of course, interesting for Pokemon that barely hit the level 50, which is going to be like here. Like it's barely hit the cap basically with it at level 50 is better what to say here. For example, the Pachirisu, which is not close to 1,500 CP, but it's mainly important actually for the Master League, but it's still important for Great League and Ultra League as well, which you're going to talk about as well. But for Master League, it's very much important, and the main goal is to hit bulk and breakpoints, of course, with the added stats that you're going to gain from best buddying. So, here are some Pokemon that are very good to best buddy as well, that are not hitting the cap. So, Pachirisu, for example, for the Great League doesn't get to 1,500. And then we have here on the right side some Pokemon for the Ultra League, which are also not hitting 2,500 CP there. I'm excluding Master League here right now as well, because Master League is going to be a bit more of a part towards the end of the video. I kind of want to split up Great League and Ultra League and then Master League, because they kind of function quite a bit differently. But as you can see here, for example, this is going to be Spiritomb. Spiritomb is only hitting around 2,340 CP without the best buddy, and around 2,370 CP with the best buddy. So you're nowhere close to the 2,500 with each of them. But as you're gonna see here, if you got a best buddy it, you're going to be able to beat something like the Annihilate, the Bellyboard, or Walrein, actually top meta Pokemon that is just happening because you best buddied your Spiritomb. And this is like one of the best examples on where you really want to do it. If you want to run a Pokemon that doesn't hit the CP cap for Great and Ultra League, and you can best buddy them. It's a no-brainer. It just gives you better stats. It just gives you more bulk. It just gives you more attack even on this Pokemon. It's an absolute no-brainer. So what other categories could there be? Of course, what we already talked about, to get better IVs. But this can be a trap. And I will talk about it in the next slide here as well. Because here we have at least one imposter among us, a Pokemon that actually gonna get worse for best buddying. Can you guess which one it is? But basically, what we're going to have here is Jellicent, which needs 6 attack for the Ultra League. We have the Morgrem, which needs 3 attack for the Great League in order to hit the 2500. The Talonflame on the right side would get to 2493, I think, at 15, 15, 15. Of course, you can get a little bit extra then as well by going for Best Buddy version of this Pokemon. Credilli goes up to the exactly 2499 at 15, 15, 15, so you can sneak in a little bit more, like a little bit less attack in there. So like you kind of see the pattern here. They're kind of getting already to the right CP, but they don't have the lowest possible IVs in their attack stat, which is important, which we talked about in the IV spread video as well. Again, check that one out. It's going to be linked in the end card if you don't understand what I'm talking about right now. It's generally a very, very good video in my opinion as well. It's one of my favorite videos I've found on the channel because it's actually really nice explanatory. This one is actually really close, though. I'm happy with this one as well. But yeah, kind of here an example for this one is going to be here the Morgrem. Morgrem, the 2-shield scenario we see here right now on the screen, where we have now the 115-15, which is best bodied, which is then going to be able to win against Pokemon like Licky and Gustlord. And the 0 shields, you're going to be able to win against Gastrodon. And the 1 shields, I think you won against 1 Pokemon as well, which was kind of irrelevant. But you always kind of have a benefit of having Morgrem actually with a little bit lower attack and the extra bulk, which is kind of interesting here, isn't it? So, is it always better to best buddy Pokemon if possible? Yes, if they don't hit the cap. If they don't hit the cap, then it's a no-brainer. It's the same for Master League, it's the same for Ultra League, it's the same for Great League. A Pachirisu at level 51 is better than a Pachirisu at level 50. That is a no-brainer because it doesn't hit the cap. But it is not always the case otherwise. If they hit the cap and you just want to have a lower attack stat, that can actually mess up Pokemon. And the imposter from the last, kind of slide there is actually Credilli. Credilli hits again 2,900 and 2,499 best without the best buddy and with the best buddy. You see on the left side without and on the right side with best buddy. You drop 0.4 attack and you gain a total of 1 in stamina and you're gonna gain a total of 0.5 in defense. So basically you drop 0.4 to get 1.5 extra stats. So like you have a difference of 1.1 extra stats just for the best buddy, which in theory looks great. But if you actually play it, it's actually worse. The best buddy Credilli is losing matchups, and actually losing quite a bit of them. As you guys see here as well, we're going to lose against other Credillis because we don't win the CMP tie anymore. So in the mirror matchup, it's going to be generally a bit worse, which we're going to talk about the importance of that a little bit later. And then we're going to have the Alone Night hits, which we're just generally going to lose. And why? Because we have now breakpoints that we are missing. Against the Alone Night hits, we would usually do super effective, harder damage actually with the asset that we have, which is already super effective. But even against the Trevenant as well as the Blastoise, we are not going to be able to hit that breakpoint anymore. And we do less damage with our fast move because of the dropped attack. And in 3 matchups, having this is actually quite bad. So I would never recommend you to best buddy your Credilli. It's not worth it. It doesn't help you. It really doesn't help you. And so this is kind of where you have to kind of check before. It is only for Pokemon that are already getting to the CP level and you just want to have better IVs basically. This is the only thing where you need to check it. The other ones are no right now. You can best buddy them. But which Pokemon are here to best buddy? And here's kind of where the video splits between the Great League, Ultra League and the Master League section. Here you see some picks from me for the Great League and the Ultra League. For the Ultra League, especially any Pokemon you want to run that doesn't hit the cap. I like the Mandibuzz, for example, that we saw earlier would have been a good one. Stunfisk is a good one. Here, I like Spiritomb a lot. Spiritomb is, I think, a really, really great one to have. We have the Alone Ninetales, which actually going to have a little bit better matchups as well. Same goes for Ludicolo. Ludicolo actually wins like 2-3 more matchups from best buddying and having a bit of different IVs. Then we're going to have Pachirisu, of course, no brainer for the Great League, which is just not getting to the cap. And we saw already the Morgrem as well on why you want to best buddy this Pokemon. And then we have the Master League Pokemon. And they all have a little bit of different reasoning behind them. Let's take a look at the Master League real quick. this is the most important league. This is the most important league for best buddy Pokemon. And those are the Pokemon that you really want to best buddy. And they actually help you out then again with rates a bit more than what you would have for Auto League and Great League. So yeah, why is it different here? Because every Pokemon has the same level and IVs. IVs are not really a point here, like most Pokemon have 15, 15, 15, or very similar towards that. While for Great League and Ultra League, this can vary quite a bit, which can change quite a bit of things. But basically what this allows you is you're going to have an immediate advantage with the best buddy because you have all kind of the same stats there, especially when you're in the lead. You're going to have a benefit of having a best buddied Pokemon compared to another Pokemon of the same type that's not best buddied, because again, you're the same level, you have the same IVs, but basically the best buddying gives you a different level, gives you above the actual level that is possible, and allows you to win the CMP tie. And this is super important. This is again down to the IVs as well then at the end. But if you have Zacian in the lead against Zacian and you have yours best buddied and the opponent doesn't, you win this matchup guaranteed because you win the CMP tie. You get your charge moves off first. You're going to sometimes even hit break and bulk points there as well, which can help you out. And so Pokemon like the Ho-Oh or the Zacian, they don't actually get like crazy bulk and breakpoints with the best buddying. They do get a little bit of stuff there, but like nothing crazy. But they're mainly here because they're very common leads, and if you face one off and you have yours best buddied and the opponent doesn't, you are at an immediate advantage. Like you, especially for Ho-Oh, it makes a lot of sense to kind of best buddy this Pokemon because you see it so often in the lead and it's such a great lead, but also it kind of relies on Brave Bird the entire time on both sides. But if you get your own Brave Bird off first, you're going to be able to just demand, like kind of comment where you end up with a situation. You're going to be able to kind of pressure the opponent faster and force them to swap out a lot of times. And so this is a very important thing which happens basically only in the Master League. So here is again a different occasion though, which is way more prevalent in the Master League as well. Bulk points and break points are more predictable and useful in the Master League. Why is that the case? Because here we see the difference between a Palkia that's best buddied and non-best buddied one, Palkia on the bottom, normal one on the top. You see here already. This, of course, is going to help you out with the leads as well. But you're going to be able to win here in the Zero Shields, I think, against Kyurem and Palkia. We're going to have here in the One Shields against Downwings. No, never mind. I think it was the Zero Shields on the left side there already. But you're going to have here the break points that you're going to get here. Break points are more important because they're all on the same level and IVs. You kind of can predict on how strong the opponent's Pokemon are and which Pokemon you're going to face. And for example, Zekrom and Reshiram, both kind of Pokemon that kind of rose up in terms of usage in the Open Master League, are now going to be Pokemon that take 1 extra damage from your Dragon Breath if you best buddy your Palkia, which is going to make the matchup so much better for yourself. Downwings Necrozma is a Pokemon that you see quite often as well in the Master League, which again, you can make the matchup so much better because every single Dragon Breath, and it's half a second for Dragon Breath, is going to do 1 extra damage to those Pokemon if you best buddy your Palkia. And it's just way more predictable. You have also the same kind of way in the bulk point section. In this case, we don't have any difference here. There have been cases though, which is not really the case anymore, but there was a very famous Pokemon that he needed to best buddy prior, which was Dialga, a normal Dialga back in the day for Master League. Because if you didn't best buddy it and the opponent had best buddied, they did 1 more damage against you the entire time in the mirror matchup. I couldn't find really a Pokemon like this anymore nowadays because there are just like the Dialgas now, there's a different form of it. We have now for a different form of Palkia. All of those things kind of changed. But basically, I do think actually this is the case for if you have Zekrom and Reshiram, by the way, because they have the exact same stats as Dialga and Palkia. I think you kind of get a little bit of a benefit from them as well if you best buddy them, which I had them before as well. But generally speaking, yeah, those Pokemon are most useful for the Master League because they are just those Pokemon that are going to be having more benefit from the bulk and the breakpoints. And yeah, one of the best one is definitely the Palkia. And again, all of the Pokemon that I had in the list prior were Pokemon that I would recommend you. Like I made myself a list prior to like Pokemon that I wanted to suggest to you. Those are all on that list earlier. And so we can now take a look at what we've learned from today. We've learned that best buddies have the most amount of impact in the Master League, definitely because of the CMP ties, because of the more predictability of bulk and breakpoints towards the Pokemon that you encounter in the meta, and because, yeah, mainly, of course, because of if you have a best buddy Pokemon in the lead, you're going to have a massive advantage. But they can be also useful in the Great League and Ultra League for Pokemon, especially to get closer to the level that they need to be, like Spiritomb in the Ultra League, but also sometimes have a little bit better IVs like Morgrem in the Great League, which can help you out to win some matchups. It's an underused feature, to be fair. It's an underused feature that should be, especially if you're a Master League player, you should best buddy your Pokemon. Like, it is definitely something I would highly recommend you. You should always have your lead best buddy no matter what in the Master League. That should be something that you kind of should aim for. It helps you out all the time, as long as you have like a lead basically that is commonly seen. I don't use a feature myself, and so like that's definitely something down on me as well. I could do so much better if I would use this feature, and that's something that just... yeah, it's something that you maybe should adjust as well. If you play Master League, it's a must-have feature. For the other ones, it can help out quite a bit. But again, you have to look into those Pokemon sometimes first. If it's not, if it's not for the Master League, if it's not for a Pokemon that doesn't hit 2500 CP directly, and you just want to have better IVs on a Pokemon, sometimes it can hurt you. Again, we saw it in the case of Credilli, so that better check beforehand, before you best buddy that. And the last thing, follow for more. Follow for more. Like this video if you enjoyed it, if you learned something new today as well. And let me know which guide you want to see next. Like, again, this was suggested a ton in the last video. I am open for more suggestions as well, and hopefully I see you in the next video. And again, next season's going to be amazing on this channel. Stay tuned for this. I have a lot of things planned. See you then. Bye-bye.